explain Pokemon to me?
Yeah, okay. Pokemon is basically a storyline based on one person, Ash Ketchum, and he starts at Pallet Town as a 10-year-old child, and he starts with Pikachu. And this is the big battle of time at here, Mewtwo versus Mew.
When Pokémon the first movie hit cinema screens in the UK, it was huge. Unlike the rest of the world, where Pokémon had been growing its fanbase since 1996 in Japan and 1998 in the US, British consumers weren't able to get their hands on their first Pokémon game until October 5th, 1999. However, the Pokémon anime had actually been airing on the now-defunct satellite TV channel Sky One since March 29th, 1999.
Every weekend morning on Sky One.
Butterfree, go!
Follow Ash, Misty, Brock, and Pikachu as they embark on an amazing journey.
I choose you!
New episodes of Pokemon, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 on Sky One.
Yes, that's right. To us, Pokemon Blue and Red was a game based on an anime, not an anime based on a game. Confused yet? By 2000, the franchise had become the hot new craze on school playgrounds, and in April 14th of that year, Pokémon the first movie was released onto cinema screens across the UK, only 6 months after the release of the first two games, and the marketing campaign was insane. Almost every Warner Bros. VHS seemed to have the trailer, there were music videos, free giveaway CD-ROMs from newspapers, and even a videotape detailing the making of the movie. Perhaps it's no wonder that the film opened at the #1 spot at the box office, right opposite Erin Brockovich of all things. It went on to gross over £10 million, with the VHS release following a few months later in September, and here it is. But for all the talk of how popular Pokémon was, I actually didn't own this tape growing up. I did rent it a couple times from the video shop, but I never managed to get my hands on it until 2006, when I bought a copy from my friend down the street for the expensive sum of 20p. What a steal. It also came with an Ancient Mew trading card, but I must have lost it under the couch cushions or something. Actually, one thing that amuses me about this tape is just how yellow everything is. The Pokémon logo is yellow, the case is yellow, and even the VHS itself is really yellow. It's so bright it's almost burning my eyes. I wouldn't be surprised if some kids went blind from staring at this for too long. I'd better pop this thing in before I lose my eyesight, so let's take a look at the trailers and see just how much marketing Nintendo has in store for us. It's another Warner Brothers tape, which starts off with one of the few things unrelated to Pokémon here, a trailer for Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, which has kind of a spooky X-Files theme going for it.
Your heart will beat faster. Your palms start to sweat. Suddenly, you know they are among us. It's the all-new movie, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders.
I used to love these Scooby-Doo movies because they actually had real monsters for a change, which was always a lot better than watching them trap someone in a mask all the time. Maybe I'll talk more about some of these Scooby-Doo tapes another time.
Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders, coming fall 2000. It's just the beginning.
Did you think you could escape Pokemon ads on this tape though? Of course not. Next we get a massive marketing campaign for pretty much every Pokemon game that was out at the time, starting off with the classic Red and Blue versions. I've already mentioned in a previous episode that Pokemon Blue was one of my first games for the Game Boy, so it's definitely nostalgic to see the footage again here. However, Pokemon Blue was also my only Pokemon game, so we quickly step into uncharted territory with Pokemon Yellow, otherwise known as the Special Pikachu Edition, where a little Pikachu would actually follow you around in-game, obviously trying to capitalize on the success of the character as a mascot in the anime. It is quite cute though. If that wasn't enough, now we get one of the big Pokemon games for the Nintendo 64, Pokemon Stadium. It's hard to describe just how exciting ads like this could be, because if you were used to only playing Pokemon in 2D, this would have looked amazing at the time. It definitely made me jealous I didn't have a Nintendo 64, and that was when I was watching this in 2006. Next up, Pokemon Snap, one of the weirder entries in the franchise, where the goal was to shoot Pokemon, with a camera of course. At first glance, it looks kind of strange, but apparently this is actually a fun and engaging game, almost like an on-rails shooter without the actual bullets. But by this point, it's getting a bit silly. Pokemon Pinball now? Okay, this has to be a cash grab. It's pinball, but with Pokemon, guys! It looks like one of those games you could play for cheap on your TV service back then. Probably not the best. Finally, we get the Pokemon trading card game. Oh, neat. Something that isn't a video game, right? But nope, this is a video game based on the trading card game. I couldn't even make this up if I tried. It's clearly just Pokemon Red and Blue, but with the actual Pokemon replaced with trading cards. This is when you can tell they were trying to make a Pokemon game out of everything, and if you were lucky enough to have all of the games shown in this ad, you must have been one spoiled brat. That's the thing with these tapes though, I feel like I've been sucked into some kind of weird Pokemon dimension now, so it doesn't help when Professor Oak shows up to tell us what we're in store for.
First up, a great way to start things off, Pikachu's Vacation. You'll get to meet some brand new Pokemon in my favorite mini-movie. Then, get set for our feature presentation.
Oh, and then Alakazam removes his trousers. I mean, it is a bit disturbing. This is supposed to be a PG, isn't it? Speaking of which, we get another one of those warnings from the Video Standards Council, only this time it's all about the PG rating, featuring that nice friendly woman once again.
This film has been classified PG. This stands for parental guidance and means that parents may wish to check the film before showing it to their children.
I do kind of like the way she says this, though.
If it's romantic, it might have some sexy scenes or very brief nudity.
It's like she knows it's a bit naughty. I can't think of too many of these warnings that would have the word sexy in them.
Thanks for listening.
So, as foretold by the professor, before the movie there's an exclusive short film called Pikachu's Vacation, and yeah, just cue the music.
Vacation's where I wanna be. Buddy on the beach where the fun is free. We don't need a holiday to start to celebrate.
Do I need to say anything more? I think the catchy soundtrack of the time speaks for itself, and for some reason it works here. This image right here, this sums up the whole movie for me, which is saying something because it's not even part of the actual movie. As for the plot of the short, it's not really anything special. Pikachu and some Pokemon get dropped off at this big theme park, where they run into this gang of other Pokemon and end up starting a rivalry with them, including a Raichu who sounds Irish for some reason. I think it's just supposed to be cute more than anything else, but the really odd thing about this short is all these weird interstitial things that just don't make any sense to me. Like, what's that all about? What do these things mean? Why do they exist? Imagine if you walked into the cinema right when this was playing, you'd be asking what someone put in your popcorn. Anyway, after Pikachu and his rival gang solve their problems, we then get the origin of Mewtwo, which is so short it doesn't really add much to the movie itself. It's just a bunch of scientists discovering a fossil of Mew, which you could have learned just from watching the movie anyway. Finally, it's movie time, and strangely, the film actually has a subtitle, Mewtwo Strikes Back, which kind of makes it sound more like a sequel. In fact, there was a quasi-sequel to this movie, Mewtwo Returns. Pokemon really is confusing, isn't it? We'll skip on to the credits, which feature a slideshow of Ash, Misty, and Brock in all these different places, like they've been on some kind of long, meaningful journey. Strangely, I actually find this the most poignant aspect of the whole movie from a nostalgic perspective, which probably isn't a good thing when it has nothing to do with the actual plot. Oh well, I guess that's it, so I can finally turn off the tape and...
Stay where you are.
Uh-oh.
Because even though our heroes have saved the day, the fate of the world could soon depend on one person.
Yes, we then get a trailer for the next movie, Pokémon 2000, which, way back then, I actually thought was the 2000th Pokémon movie. Still, this trailer is just like all the rest when it comes to these Pokémon movies. It looks like a lot of cool stuff happens, but then when you see the actual movie, it's somehow not as exciting. That's how I felt when I was a kid anyway.
Pokémon, the movie 2000, coming to movie theaters this summer.
But that has to be it now. Surely there isn't anything else Pokemon related they could sell us.
Are you ready to be the ultimate Pokemon Master Trainer?
Yes, I think I am.
Okay, so the last thing on the tape is an advert for the Pokemon Trading Card Game League, where players could meet up, make friends, and then quickly become enemies when they fight over an ancient Mew card.
Then join the Pokemon Trading Card Game League. You'll do awesome activities, learn wicked strategies, earn awesome badges, and meet new friends as you begin your journey to become a Pokemon Master Trainer.
I don't think the league exists under this name anymore, but did anyone ever go along to one of these events when they were younger? Let me know. I never did, but I can almost imagine myself going along to some community centre on a wet Tuesday afternoon just to trade a few Pokemon cards with friends. And is that John Sachs again doing the narration?
To find out more about the Pokemon Trading Card Game League, log on to wizards.com.
Wow, that man sure loves his videotapes, doesn't he?
Go forth and be a master.
But phew, that's it. The VHS of Pokémon, the first movie. For a tape all about Pokémon, this one definitely delivers. It covers the games, the anime, and even the trading cards. All the stuff that kids like me would have been dying to have back then. At the end of the day, it's pretty clear what Nintendo was saying to us. You just gotta catch 'em all. Thanks for watching this video, and look out for more trailer reels coming soon. Is there a treasured VHS tape from your youth that you'd like me to cover? Got any fond memories? How big is your tape collection? Let me know in the comments. And please like and subscribe to the Back to the Past YouTube channel for more outdated content coming soon.